You're watching the Microsoft US Health and Life Sciences Confessions of Health Geeks podcast, a show that offers industry insight from the health geeks and data freaks of the US Health and Life Sciences industry team. I'm your host, Claire Bonacy. As a part of the ongoing Year of the Nurse and Midwife series, Kathleen McGrow, our Chief Nursing Information Officer, will talk about patient safety and how technology can help. Enjoy the show. Hi, Kathleen. Thanks for joining us today to talk about patient safety.
Hi, Claire. Good afternoon. How are you?
Doing good. How are you doing?
Great, thanks. Great. Happy to be here to talk about it.
Great. So, Kathleen, you've had an extensive career in the hospital setting, and I know that you've noticed that healthcare is seeing an increased emergence of tech-enabled tools like wearables or computerized dispensing. So, what new questions and concerns does this bring up regarding patient safety?
Yeah, I have about 20 years actually at the clinical bedside, and then many years in health information technology, kind of piled onto that. I actually see that this raises a lot of concerns for patient safety and quality, including concerns around cybersecurity, passive data collection, and patient education or miseducation. There's also a lot of variability on patient proficiency in using technology, as we know.
Okay. So you mentioned data security and cybersecurity, which I think is very important. In your experience, have you seen companies today trying to address that a little bit more?
Yes, actually, we at Microsoft, that's one of our significant tenets around security and cybersecurity. We have a huge team that's actually dedicated to that to ensure that data is both protected and secured.
Okay, that's great. So given that it is the 20th year anniversary of the Institute of Medicine report to Err is Human, and that a new survey by the Institute for Healthcare Improvement finds that 1 in 5 Americans have experienced a medical error, what are some learnings that we can take away from the last 20 years when it comes to patient safety and how technology has made an impact?
Right. Well, I can't believe it's been 20 years because I remember when it actually came out. And, reflecting on that, that was really a landmark event to have the IOM come out with that Err is Human. It really put a spotlight on medical errors and the need to improve patient safety. I think we find now that there are significant risks for error, especially when it comes to medication errors and adverse drug reactions. We're really looking at increasing numbers of mistakes selecting the wrong medication for patients, especially on computer screens and tablets. They call these selection errors. So we really need to ensure that we build solutions that assist providers and do not allow for these types of selection errors to occur. This might include using machine learning and AI to prompt providers when they're making some of these selections. In addition, surgical errors, both during surgery and perioperative events, through the advent of safety checklists, most providers are using these. The checklists are now made electronic and easily accessible to users. So we have to continue to monitor their use and ensure that we're seeing that there's an effective uptake. And then misdiagnosis mistakes, including misidentified illnesses and incorrect treatment. According to a study conducted by the Johns Hopkins University School of Medicine and appearing in Diagnosis, data confirm that inaccurate diagnosis is the #1 cause of serious medical errors. So we must assist our providers by ensuring data is discoverable and they have the right data on the right patient at the right time. Research and quality improvement initiatives should help target these interventions and improve clinical diagnoses.
Great. And I love the point you brought up about AI and machine learning and using that data. I think even if it's just a logic check for the provider, it can really help kind of reduce that likelihood of error. And of course, using clinical analytics wherever we can to kind of help guide those clinical insights as well. So I know you've been very vocal about the importance of patient and provider education when safely implementing these new technologies. What are some examples of the technologies that you've seen, and what are your thoughts on how they can change patient safety overall?
That's correct. I really do believe that patient and provider education is key for safely implementing new technologies. I think there's still a lot of work that we're learning about these new tech tools. There's a lot of kinks. We have to work them out. The rise of data and digital leaves the industry no choice but to consider the relation of these tools to patient safety. So we must educate our clinicians, and it has to start with their higher education and continue through as they're introduced into bedside care and hands-on patient care. We're also seeing the utilization of AR and VR mixed reality using things like Microsoft HoloLens. So within skills stations, within nursing and physician trainings, they actually use the HoloLens so they can see 3D images of the anatomy and what a patient's body would look like. And I think that really is significant and helps them to learn, not on the actual patient until they're ready. I believe technology can improve and is improving patient safety, but we need to ensure that we're keeping patient safety and quality as a top priority in healthcare.
That's great. That's a really great example. I know there's many others of how technology is helping with kind of the provider education in higher education. So great. Well, thank you so much, Kathleen, for chatting today. And we'll have you back on the vlog very soon. And thank you, everyone, for watching.
Thanks, Claire.
Thank you all for watching. We look forward to continuing the Year of the Nurse series next month with episode 4. Please feel free to leave us questions or comments below, and check back soon for more content from the HLS industry team.